Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the Compassionate, the Merciful, I thank for the invitation, and I was going to praise Mr. Prasad uh, for the most important characteristics that I have seen, not only to him, in him, but in Indian and India, and that is the humbleness. And opposite of this is exactly where the story starts. There are people that they think that they are greater than the others. There are countries think so, that they can decide for the others. 100 years ago, the Great Britain decided that they want to create a state. Balfour in 1917, who was the foreign minister of Great Britain, wrote a letter and promised to create that state in the Palestinian land, the land which belonged to the Palestinians. In 1953, we kicked out the Shah by a popular government of Dr. Muhammad Mossadegh, the United States and the British decided that they want, against our will, to return the Shah. And this is the story up to date. Some people decided that they want to change the government of Syria, the legitimate government of Syria. And that is why we face today this crisis. The genie is out of the bottle, nobody can put it back. This monster that we made, or it's danger to everybody. Of course, we can go to the root cause of terrorism, but I'd rather to speak something which benefits us today. From the start of the Syrian crisis, we said that the Syrian people should decide their future. And now 6 years is passing. It looks like that this has been accepted by everybody. The solution from the beginning, it was the ceasefire, doing whatever we can to do to the harmed and wounded and displaced, Syrian talk, and finally in the hand of Syrian people to decide in a referendum or any other ways their will. I'm glad to talk to you in a time that we have been able to establish the first point. After the Halab, the thing is different from before Halab. If it is necessary, we can discuss it in the questions and answers. But Astana talk, which is the only effective talk in this 6 years to bring a ceasefire, was successful. It was hard, but it was successful. And after two rounds of talk, Astana 1 and 2, we came to Geneva. What has happened in Geneva is different from before. Everybody is trying somehow to look out for a solution. Of course, there are give and takes. People, countries, the opposition are insisting to get more. But it is important that they are accepting to fight terrorism. Everybody, even the armed opposition. The will of Syrian people will determine the future. And that is exactly where it was wrong from the beginning. Now, how we can implement this? How can we implement this in our region? Can we work this in other places? We worked this in Iraq. Anyway, with all of the wrongdoing, right now there is a structure in Iraq that Arab and Kurds, Shia and Muslim are living in a parliamentarian system. There are some kingdoms which don't like this because they think that this kind of democracy is a danger to the kingship that they had. Can we give the Bahrainis the right, each one vote, equal vote? This is what we have to do. There is no other way. Can we find a solution for Yemen? Yemen is a war that there is no end to it, and there is no victorious side. Being a diplomat, I always try to find a solution for these with the Indians, with the United Nations, with anybody who can be cooperative. I know that there are a lot of interests, but be sure that these interests are like our interest, Iranian interest, is maximized in a stable region, in peaceful region. If there is this tension, we are the loser. Not we are the loser. Those who are outside of the region are the loser too. Now it's different from what we see 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. The security, if there exists, should be for all. The economic prosperity cannot be in a region for one country and not for the others. These imbalances creates problem. This is the message, this is my analysis, this is what we worked for it. Unfortunately, worked in Iraq, worked in Syria, and it will work, I believe, in Bahrain and Yemen. Right, 2003, American came with a lot of forces to the region. But what was the result? Are they satisfied? We can ask the lady here. I'm sure that the most American didn't like this. It is right. In 1982, Beirut was occupied. The American, the British, the France, Italian brought forces to Beirut. But those who occupied and those who came are satisfied with the result. I think the time is past. In Afghanistan, our next neighbor, probably we are close to the Afghani people more than anybody else because we speak the same language, we are the same history, we are almost the same people. And many Afghanis are right now in our universities, they are living with us. But is there any way that without a peace in Afghanistan, we can rest in Iran? This is the message, and I'm ready for the questions. Thank you.